hidden truth. From forged signature to secret messages, documents can speak louder than a word when examined through the lens of forensic science. Today's session, let's welcome the topic Secrets on Paper Uncovering the Science of Question Document. Let's welcome our student speaker, Miss Angel, who is currently pursuing BSc Forensic Science at NIMS University, Jaipur. She will be guiding us throughout the world of question document. Participants, you may share your queries via chat box. Angel, you may begin the session.
Okay, thank you, Raksha. Good morning, everyone. Is my voice clear to everyone?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, I'll be just sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Okay, so first of all, again, a very good morning to everyone. And also, first of all, I would like to thank Shivi Forensics for welcoming me to conduct the session on question documents. And I am Angel, a BSc Forensic Science student from first year, second semester from NIMS University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. So, before starting the session, question documents, let's first understand what does a document mean. So basically, a document is like any information, any paper, a piece of paper which contain any information regarding anything. For example, your notes, any check or any wills. That is considered as a document only. Okay. Next. So let's see what we will learn today. So here are the few topics that I have decided that we are going to learn today. Introduction to question documents, history, types of question documents, collection and handling of evidence, handwriting and signature examination, forgery detection, ink and paper analysis, secret message detection, forensic instruments, quiz and MCQs. For the ending of the session and doubt session will be conducted in the end only. So, as I already told that what are documents? So, here you can see that documents play a major role in criminal investigation. They can help to determine identity of a person, authenticity of signatures, fraud or forgery, alterations in documents. So, basically, document is anything which basically we can define. Like if I am writing something in my writing and if my friend is writing something in his or her writing, any third person can differentiate between my handwriting and my friend's handwriting, right? So because of that we can differ that whose handwriting is whose, and we can basically individualize that. We can basically get ki whose handwriting is whose. Now next, in forensic science, any document whose authenticity or origin is disputed and requires forensic examination is called as a question document. Like what is a question document? क्वेश्चन डॉक्यूमेंट वो होता है जिसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी, ऑथरशिप, ओरिजिन को क्वेश्चन कर दिया जाए, उसको हम बोल देते हैं क्वेश्चन डॉक्यूमेंट. एग्जाम्पल चेक्स, सुसाइड नोट्स एंड विल्स. समटाइम्स चेक्स में भी कुछ लोग ऑल्टरेशन कर देते हैं. सुसाइड नोट्स रिटन बाय पीपल एंड एनी विल्स, एनी प्रॉपर्टी पेपर्स, दैट इज क्वेश्चन डॉक्यूमेंट जिनकी ऑथेंटिसिटी पे क्वेश्चन हो. नाउ history of question document examination, we know that Hans Cross was the first scientist who promoted scientific crime investigation. We all know that, I guess. And then Albert S. Osborne was the father of question document examination, and he also published the book Question Documents in 1910. Now, next, moving to our next topic, types of question document. So, here are some few types of question document. First is handwritten document. Handwritten document is anything which is written manually, like by hand, by using a pen, pencil, or marker. That is called as a handwritten document. Example, personal letters, diaries, and signatures. I already told that for giving an example in the very starting that if I am writing something and any second person is writing something, we can differ that, like my handwriting is must be different from his or her handwriting, right? So that is our handwritten document. Now second document type is printed documents. Printed document is any document which is basically used by digital machine or computer where text is printed electronically on paper. There are some few types of printed documents also: inkjet printing, laser printing, digital printing, and these are the types of printed documents. Examples: your books, newspapers, certificates, anything that is written electronically is called as your printed document. I guess these are the very basic things everyone knows about that. And then next, moving to typewritten documents, our third type. So, a typewritten document is produced using a typewriter where mechanical keys strike an ink ribbon to imprint letters on paper. So, basically, in this, there is a typewriter machine which basically have mechanical keys in it, which strikes on the paper and it imprints the letters on the paper. Example: old government records, historical letters. You will see a typewriter in a court and everywhere else where the government records have been stored. So, that is called as a typewritten document. Next, moving to photocopied documents. Of course, we all know photocopied documents also. We all take Xerox copies for our study purpose. So we know that what are photocopy documents. A photocopied document is a duplicate copy of an original document produced using a photocopier or Xerox machine. I would like to know if my pace is like okay or should I slow it down? Is it okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Photocopied document. A photocopied document is a duplicate copy of an original document, Xerox machine. Basically, in this, a machine scans the original document and reproduces the other paper of it. We'll study about this in our later session also. Like there is this machine ESDA which is used in it, and we can basically photocopy the document, and all that instruments we'll study in the later session only. Now, next, moving to our fifth type, that is anonymous letter. Anything that is like a letter which is written whose identity is hidden intentionally, and that is called as a anonymous letter. The sender does not reveal their name, address, or signature. That is called as a anonymous letter. Okay, example: threat letters and blackmail letters, like almost like if someone is like sending you a letter without revealing the identity and giving you threat regarding anything, that is called as a anonymous letters only. Next, moving to altered and tampered documents. Anything that is tampered or altered is called as your altered or tampered document. For example, in checks, you must have seen that someone is adding one more zero to the amount. That is called as an altered check. Or if someone is like overwriting something, if someone is signaturing, overwriting the signature, that is called as an altered or tampered document. Examples of it: changing amount on checks, I already said so, and altering marks in mark sheet. Now, what is a standard document? Like what happens in forensic investigation when a document is questioned? So there must be certain thing, a certain paper to compare with it, right? So if someone is writing a suicide note, so basically we'll take a reference for that from the past records or from the past files that he or she must have written. So that is called a standard document. A standard document, also called known document or exemplar, is a document whose authorship is already known. Just like I said that if I am comparing a question document, so I should have a standard document to compare it for my perfection purpose, right? So standard document help forensic experts determine whether the question document was written by the same person or not. For example, a check is a question document. Here the example is also given. A check is a question document. So bank signature records of the account holder is a standard document. For example, if a person have a check which is altered, so bank signature will be like compared for the question document only he or she have written. So we can know that okay, this is an altered check. So that's how a standard document works, standard and question documents. Next, collection of question documents. So, a piece of paper, we know how sensitive a piece of paper is also. So, proper collection of document evidence is extremely important. Like, if documents are handled carelessly, important evidence may be destroyed. So, because of that, like, handling of documents must be like very carefully. So, handling of documents must be with gloves only. Avoid folding, damaging, stapling of the paper as it can alter the writing features of it. Then storing them in a protective folders, clearly labeling and sealing the evidence. And these are the few steps for the collection of question documents that may not alter the writing features of it, and it helps us to properly examine the question document. So these precautions help preserve the integrity of the document evidence. Next, moving to handling and transportation. Now, once collected, documents must be transported carefully to the forensic science laboratory. For example, we all must have studied chain of custody, like how we secure the crime scene and all. So, what is the first step of the securing the crime scene or chain of custody? Can anyone tell? You can tell in the chat box section also. Okay, I guess. So for the chain of custody, our first step is to secure the crime scene only, right? Same for the document. If like I have found a piece of paper, I'll just collect it properly, keep it in a paper envelope, avoid anything plastic to avoid the moisture, and also on a flat surface, I should keep it to basically not ruin the surface sheet of the paper. And handling and transportation, store documents in protective covers, just like I said, properly in the envelope only, and avoid exposure to moisture or sunlight. Avoid exposure, that means it can like alter the writing features. Like every ink is also different, right? Every ink is different. Like for the gel pen we use different ink, for the ball pen we use different ink. So because of that, we should avoid exposure to moisture or sunlight, and maintain proper chain of custody, like proper handling from the collection to the evidence presentation at the crimes at the court of law. We should avoid it. Next, moving to handwriting examination. Just like I said in the very starting only, like my handwriting may differ from yours and yours handwriting may differ from mine. So here are the some features, that is letter formation, writing slant, size and proportion, spacing between letters, pen pressure, writing speed. Like we know that writing is like just like fingerprint. Like fingerprint is an individual character. We all have our individual character. We cannot have same fingerprint, of course. Just like in handwriting also, if uh, any everyone have different handwriting, right? Like for example, I have different handwriting. I may form letters very large, you may form letters very small. Your writing slant is like where it is tilted more towards, it is tilted. Like if the slant is like a right slant, then it is tilted towards right, and then it is tilted towards left, so that is called as a writing slant only. And then the size and proportion of the letters, like what is the size and what is the proportion of the letters, so that is called as the size and proportion. These are the individual characteristics I am talking about. And then the spacing between letters, like how much space I am leaving. If I am writing something, how much space between the letters I am leaving between the words or between statements. So these are the few features. Pen pressure, like with, for example, males have some high pen pressure and females generally have low pen pressure. And then writing speed, at what speed I am writing. Like if I want to copy something like at a very fast speed, I may have different handwriting. And if I'm writing it with very slowly and with designing features, I may write very slowly with a good handwriting only. I guess till here everything is clear. If anyone have any doubts, he or she can ask. Does anyone have any doubt till here?
I think they don't have doubt, Angel. You can continue.
Okay, then it's good. I'll just continue it. Just a second. Just a second. Is my screen visible?
No, Angel.
Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now moving with the next topic, that is types of forgery. Forgery refers to any false creation or alteration of documents. Like if I'm creating, it is just like overwriting, or if I'm altering any check, that is considered as forgery only. So we can basically do any alteration with different types also. Like there are types of alteration also. For example, our first type is traced forgery. So traced forgery occurs when a forger copies a genuine signature by tracing it over. How can we trace a genuine signature? By using a carbon copy, or by overwriting over it, and and basically creating a indented marks on the paper and then writing over it. So that is called as a traced forgery. Second is a freehand forgery. Freehand forgery occurs when a person tries to imitate another person's handwriting or signature without tracing. It is like just if I'm casually like copying someone's signature, so we can like detect freehand forgery very easily. Like if I am having my signature and my friend is copying very casually my signature only, so we can differ that. Now, next moving to the third part, that is simulated forgery. Simulated forgery is when a person practices. For example, if I am having my signature and my friend is carefully practicing it again and again and again and then writing my signature, that is called as a simulated forgery. He or she may copy my original signature very carefully that we cannot even differ that. So it is like a bit tricky to differ simulated forgery. And then disguised forgery, where a person intentionally changes the handwriting or anything and then hide their identity, where we cannot know like if a person or he or she have written anything. Disguised forgery also have overwriting or lineation. Lineation is like entering any words between two statements, so that is called as a disguised forgery. So these are the four types of forgery: traced forgery, freehand, and simulated and disguised forgery. Now, next, moving to forensic instruments. Like, how can we detect? By using instruments, also, we can detect that a person's handwriting, a question document is different. Like, we can suspect it by handwriting also. So, here are the some few instruments. First one you can see uh, at the very left corner, that is your VAC. VSC, and that is video spectral comparator. It basically helps to identify the writing only. And then the in the between it is ESDA, which basically helps to it basically uses the charge, electric charge, and then it tells the difference. Like we can tell indented marks. Like if indented marks are present on the beside of the paper, we can tell that. And then third is a microscope. Of course, we know that for handwriting comparison, microscope is very common. We have different types of microscopes only. And also fourth one is your chromatography equipment. It basically helps in ink verification, like different type of ink, like red, yellow, white, and whatever, so on. So we must have also did the experiment of chromatography paper. So we all know, we are all like knowing that what is a chromatography paper and all. So, if talking about our first video spectral comparator, that is VSC. A video spectral comparator is an advanced forensic instrument used to examine question document using different wavelength of light. Just like I said, VSC basically uses different wavelength in which we can basically tell if handwriting is different or not. It basically detects the alteration, erasures, like if I am writing something and I'm using a collection fluid or erasing it, so that instrument may identify that if any alteration have taken place. It can also identify different inks, like if I am using different ink, for example, if I am using ball pen for my signature and someone is using gel pen, so this instrument may verify also that if someone is using different ink. And then also, it can examine security features and passports, currency, and certificates. That basically, these instruments you may also find in police stations and all. It basically identifies to certain question documents also. Now, next, moving to electrostatic detection apparatus, ESDA. So, ESDA is basically used to detect indented or hidden writing on paper. ESDA machine basically have three parts in it. First, a thin film in which the paper is kept, a thin film which is made up of plastic sheet, okay, in which the paper is kept, and then an electrostatic charge. It is kind of a wand which basically produces the charge, and then a toner powder which basically have powder in it, black powder, gray powder. We all know that there are the magnetic powders in toner which is used, and then electrostatic charge. So basically, what happens is if I keep my paper on the thin sheet of that plastic sheet, I keep that, and then if I apply that toner powder using that electrostatic charge wand, then it basically produces an electro charge, and we can see some black writings on it, and it basically produces indented marks, and we can how this is how we can identify the writing of it. Now, next, moving to microscopes. We all know that there are certain types of microscopes also, like stereo microscope that helps for the surface examination, and then comparison microscope where we can basically compare two handwriting side by side, and then digital microscope which basically helps to capture images and measurements. And then coming to chromatography equipment, our last instrument, chromatography. We all know we must have used chromatography paper, and we must have did our chromatography practical in 12th, I guess. Everyone have did that. And it is basically helps to determine how which is the color of ink we are using. How it works, a small ink sample is taken from the document, just like I am writing something, a small piece of paper, I'll take that, and then it is placed on chromatography paper or plate, and then the ink basically spreads out, and it basically reveals the color that is present in the ink, and that is how we can determine that what ink color is used in our instrument, in our paper, sorry. So different ink components separate into colored bands only. Now, next, moving to secret message detection. So, this is like very interesting topic. I learned it yesterday only, so I thought to like give it up a chance. So, secret message detection, sometimes documents may contain hidden or invisible messages. Like you all must have saw the movie Dhurandhar. It's like very popular. So, in that, like that person uses the invisible ink to basically hides the identity of the person he is killing. So, in this, like sometimes, so these messages are hidden using the invisible ink. ठीक है so they are not visible under normal conditions, and that can be revealed using heat or chemical reactions. For example, I did practical yesterday, and basically we did practical using two methods. First method was turmeric method, and second method was heating method. And we did our practical using detergent solution only. Like what we did was we used a paper, and then using a detergent solution, like just water and detergent, we wrote something, and then we let it dry. And then using that lighter, we just slowly burned the surface, and we were able to see the marks, indented marks, and the marks produced by the invisible ink. You can also try it at home. It is like very easy to do. And also with the turmeric method, we did the same thing. Like we wrote something with the detergent solution on the paper only, and then we used a turmeric solution, like using turmeric and water. And then we when we rubbed the with the help of cotton slowly on the surface, we were able to see the marks or the message written on the paper. So this is like very interesting. You can do that also. And then so that's it, I guess, for the session. And then I'll just practice some questions. So this is the first question, like who is known as the father of question document? Anyone could answer.
Albert Hoffman.
Yes, okay, okay. Then let's move to our next question. That is, which instrument is used to detect indented or hidden writing on paper?
Electrostatic detection apparatus. Yes, yes.
Okay, that's great. Now moving to our third question. Which technique is commonly used for ink analysis and forensic document examination?
TLC.
TLC.
Yes, okay, that's great. And then our last question, handwriting examination mainly focuses on, and here are the options.
C. Writing characteristics of
B.
letter.
Okay, that's great. That's it for the session. If anyone have any doubt, he or she can answer. He or she can ask in the chat box section.
Thank you, Angel, for such an wonderful and insightful session. And last Q&A session is very interactive and fun. Participants, if you have any queries, you can post down in chat box. An attendance link is provided. Please fill it so that you can get your certificate.